It started with a knock on my door at 6 a.m. Not a friendly knock, not a neighborly knock. It was the kind of knock that tells you someone is here to dominate, control, and intimidate. When I opened the door, there she was, the HOA, Karen, holding a clipboard like it was a badge, already smiling because she thought she owned my house, my land, and my life. What she didn't know was that this single moment would destroy her entire HOA empire. I bought my house for peace and privacy. Quiet streets, trimmed lawns, friendly waves. That's what the brochure promised. What it didn't mention was the HOA board, and especially not her. HOA Karen had been running the neighborhood like a personal kingdom for years. Everyone whispered about her fines, her warnings, her sudden inspections. People paid just to avoid her attention. I didn't know any of this when I moved in, and that ignorance was my first mistake. The problems started small. A letter on my door claiming my trash bins were visible for 12 minutes too long. A fine for a lawn that was allegedly half an inch over regulation. Then another letter. Then another. Each time, Karen personally delivered them, standing just close enough to feel threatening, smiling just enough to feel smug. She loved the power. She fed on compliance. One afternoon, she showed up with 2 other board members and declared my backyard fence illegal. According to her, it violated a clause that nobody else had ever heard of. I asked for documentation. She scoffed. She said, "We are the documentation." That sentence flipped a switch in my head, because that's when I realized this wasn't about rules, it was about control. I started recording every interaction, every knock, every warning, every threat disguised as policy. Karen didn't notice at first. She was too busy escalating. Fines doubled, notices came weekly. She even told neighbors I was a problem resident, someone who refused to follow community standards. Suddenly, friendly waves turned into cautious looks. HOA Karen was isolating me, a classic intimidation tactic. Then she crossed the line. One morning, I found a violation notice taped across my front door, claiming I had unauthorized construction on my property. The notice ordered me to cease all activity immediately or face legal action. The problem? I hadn't built anything. When I confronted Karen at the next HOA meeting, she smirked and said, the board had already voted. No evidence. No hearing. Just punishment. That night, I did something Karen never expected. I pulled every HOA document, bylaw, amendment, and county ordinance tied to my property. I discovered something shocking. My house, while paying HOA fees for shared services, sat on land with special zoning protections. The HOA had limited authority over my lot, authority Karen had been abusing for years. Armed with facts, I sent a certified letter demanding all fines be frozen pending legal review. Karen ignored it. Instead, she sent a lawyer's notice threatening foreclosure. That was her fatal mistake. I hired a real estate attorney the next day. Within weeks, subpoenas went out. Financial records, meeting minutes, violation histories. And what we found was explosive. Karen had selectively enforced rules, targeting homeowners she didn't like, while ignoring violations from friends. HOA funds had been spent without approval. Meetings were held without proper notice. The HOA wasn't just corrupt, it was exposed. Karen panicked. She showed up at my house again, this time without her confidence. She begged me to drop it. She said it would destroy the community. I told her the truth. She destroyed it the moment she thought rules were weapons instead of responsibilities. The court ruling was brutal. All fines against me were voided. The HOA was ordered to repay legal fees. Karen was removed from the board permanently. New elections were mandated, and an independent audit was ordered. The neighborhood changed overnight. People started talking, openly, sharing stories, comparing finds, realizing they weren't alone. Karen's reign ended not with shouting, but with paperwork and accountability today. My neighborhood is quieter, kinder fair. The HOA still exists, but it serves instead of threatens. And Karen, she moved away. So if you're dealing with an HOA, Karen, remember this: power only works when nobody questions it. The moment you do, everything changes.